Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Naima Atira binti Azmi. Today I want to review movie and I choose Case Away from Robert Zemeckis. Next. This is the category session that I put in my slide. First is summary, characteristic, plot, theme, moral, and opinion. Next, summary. Base feedback operation executive Chuck Nolan and grad student Kelly Frears have long dated and lived together, and despite each being the love of the other's life, have not gotten married because of their respective busy schedules, especially Chuck's, as he is more often on business trips than he is at home. On Christmas Day 1995, as Chuck is rushing off to catch yet another flight plane for a business trip, the flight experiences technical difficulties and goes down somewhere in the South Pacific. In a life raft, a relatively unharmed Chuck washes up on shore what he will learn in a deserted island. He unaware what has happened to any of his fellow flightmates or the plane. Chuck realizes that his priority is survival, which primarily means food, water, shelter, and fire, and also rescue. But survival is also in an emotional sense. To fulfill that emotional needs, he has an heirloom pocket watch with Kelly's photo that she gave him as a Christmas present. As time progresses, Chuck goes through a range of emotions, but if rescue is ever in the cards, he realizes that he has to find a way to get off the island. Next. Characteristic. The main character is Tom Hanks as a Chuck Nolan. Chuck Nolan is a system engineer for Federal Express. He shows some muscle stuff how Fidat does business, and he also has a girlfriend named Kelly who is a PhD student. He also sympathy about his friend Stan. One of the crew asks about Stan's wife, who's been battling cancer and isn't doing well. Next, Helen Hunt as a Kelly Frears. Kelly Frears is a Chuck's lover, and she's married to Jerry, a dentist, because she assumes that Chuck is gone. Next is Wilson, a volleyball. Chuck draws a face in the bloody handprint on the ball and names it Wilson and begins to talking to it. Plot Explosion. In December 1995, Chuck Nolan is a time-obsessed system engineer who travels worldwide resolving productivity problems at FedEx depots. He is in a long-term relationship with Kelly Frears, with whom he lives in Memphis, Tennessee. Although the couple wants to get married, but Chuck's busy schedule interferes with their relationship. A Christmas gathering with relatives is interrupted when Chuck is summoned to resolve a problem in Malaysia. While flying through a violent storm, his plane crashed into the Pacific Ocean. Chuck escapes from the sinking plane and is saved by an inflatable life raft, but loses the emergency locator transmitter. Then, rising, several feathers packaged from the crashed plane also wash up on the shore, as well as the corpse of one of the pilots, which he buries. He initially tries to signal for rescues and makes an escape attempt with the remnants of his life raft, but cannot pass the powerful surf and the coral reef surrounding the islands. He searches for food, water, and shelter and opens the package, finding a number of useful items. He lifts one package which has a pair of angle wings stenciled on it. During a first attempt to make fire, Chuck receives a deep wound to his hand. In anger and pain, he throws several objects, including a Wilson volleyball from one of the package. A short time later, he draws a face in the bloody handprint on the ball and names it Wilson and begins talking to it. Next, climax. A year later, Jack has adapted to the island's tough living conditions, having become adept at spearing fish and making fires. He also has regular conversation and argument with Wilson, his only means of socialization. A large section of a portable toilet was up on the island. Jack used it as a nail in the construction of a raft. After spending some time building and stocking the raft and deciding when weather conditions will be suitable, he launched using the sail to overcome the powerful raft. Jack is weakened by the spray of a whale since Wilson and swims after him, but Wilson has gone too far to safely retrieve. Jack returns to the raft and cries. Later, a passing cargo ship finds him. Okay, next is falling. Upon returning to civilization, Chuck learns that he has long been given up for dead. His family and friends have held a funeral, and Kelly has since married Chuck just one time dentist and has a daughter. After reuniting, the pair profess their love for each other, but realizing they could not be together because of her commitment to her new family. That is the sadly part. Okay, next is sometime later, Chuck travels to Canadian Texas to return the unopened filled package with the angled wings to its sender, a woman named Bettina Peterson. No one is home, so he leaves the package at the door with a note saying that the package saved his life. Next, the theme. Okay, first theme is survive. How an workaholic with no special talent survive in an island with no other human in it. Okay, in this movie, we can see how Chuck tries to survive in this island with no easy basic needs, modern tools, no other people to ask for help, and no technology. He is severely injured too. He gets injured from coral at the beach when trying to get out from the island. Okay, next is loneliness. Chuck is the only people in the island. Okay, in the remote island, Chuck is the only human there. He can talk to people, and this is a fatal. With no support and help from others, he has to survive alone. And to overcome this loneliness, one day, Chuck tried to light up a fire, and he hurt his hand and go to throw a volleyball and kick stuff. Then he saw the volleyball that blood from his hand and draw a face to the ball and named it Wilson. Okay, the moral that we can get from this movie is don't give up when facing challenges in our life. From this movie, we can see that Chuck never give up to survive and go home, even though he knows that will be hard to still go for it. He makes tools to catch fish to catch fish and crabs and build fire for cooking. From this, we learn how hard the challenge you face you can face. Don't run and never give up. Give your best until you can achieve it. Okay, next, use a family or love as motivation. In this movie, Chuck knows he has to go back to meet his lover back, even though he is in big problems. He never forget his lover and determined to go back and marry her. As a result, Chuck used this motivation and successfully escaped the island. Okay, last, I would recommend this movie to be watched by others because Tom Hanks plays his role as the main character as a Chuck very well, and the plot of the movie goes smoothly, and we can get many moral from this movie, such as this movie shows us not to give up easily even though we think that there is no hope at all. Although we know what will happen in the next scene in this movie, it does not give such spoil. And overall, this movie never gets boring at all. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.